call the meeting to order and take roll call. Mr. Granlund?
I'm here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
And I am also here. The notice of the meeting was posted on district webpage, published as a legal ad in the Superior Telegram, posted on the school district website, and throughout the district according to school board policy. The first item on the agenda is the parameters of the high school electronic sign.
And I'm trusting each person has had a chance to read the rationale and proposal. Is there anything further, Brian, to add to, because you're the one who's had the conversation with the donor, and we're deeply grateful for that gift.
No, I think Mark spelled it out very clear here. That conversations with Ron started when he made an initial call here to
We're going to try not to use
Okay.
the person's name.
the donors. Called, said he wanted this first question, could he donate a significant amount of money to the school district and have it tagged, he go to the athletic department, not to the general fund. Checked it out, yes, and then when I got my other calls to him, when we brainstormed different ways to spend the money and ideas that he might have had, he didn't really have any, we talked about some things, the sign was one of them. And we talked about, advertising school athletic events and all school activities. As we formed a relationship, he eventually, after 2 or 3 conversations, said that, I will trust you to decide how to spend this money, and you'll get a check in the mail. So we had talked about.
And he was specific school, meaning the high school, not the middle school, not the elementary, not the general fund.
We didn't get that specific. And yeah, the donation was to the athletic department
Right.
of the high school.
Of the high school.
That's where he wanted this donation to
Right,
go.
and that clarification, I think, is important for the board to know, because in trust for the donor's wishes is what we're trying to do.
So he basically at the end, just said after, like I said, 2 or 3 conversations, very good conversations on the telephone, that he trusted that that I would do what we could do what we want to do, basically. He just want to make sure that not disappear the general fund.
Right.
And he wanted this, so then we decided that part of the money would go to the side, the other part's going to a shed, and there are a few other items that we purchased as well.
I thought, Mark, your explanation and rationale is very clear. Board members, are you comfortable with the verbiage and the rationale? Sure.
I certainly am. I went through it and it looks well thought out. It looks good, and future boards can take it up and do something different if they want. But at this point, I think it makes perfect sense. I think it looks very good to me. Anyway.
Number one, I think it's a great idea for that donation to have that there. And so many people already tell me that, that's they really appreciate having that sign.
And they like away games too. They like knowing.
Yeah, okay.
That was one that was shared with me.
As far as what we put on there, whether it's non-school things, I kind of have mixed emotions on that. Mixed feelings on that, I guess. I don't know if emotional, but mixed feelings on that because, we refer to spaghetti feed for the football thing. I think that's probably the one that asked the question, or for anything.
But that's a school event, isn't it?
No,
No,
For the football team?
No,
Oh, I thought you
youth
said
football. Youth football.
Oh, I
so
Youth
it's not high
football has
school.
it, so.
High school didn't sponsor.
I mean, it might seem a little weird if they put a sandwich board right next to that advertising, but that's what it takes, I guess. So, let's say I have some mixed feelings on it, but you do have the rationale, and I don't know, I'm not sure exactly what would cause us some angst down the road, but there probably would be some.
At my previous school, we did the same thing. We put up a new sign like this, and we said just school events, and I'm glad we did because every month somebody calls. Can we do this? Can we do that? My assistant at the time would say no. There's only high school sponsored events, and that was they accepted that for the most part.
Yeah.
They'd grow up once in a while because, and again, it was a bigger school. There was a lot, and it was a lot. But it's the whole, where do you say yes and where do you say no? This way it's clean,
I understand you want to be consistent
Yeah.
and,
right?
and I suppose you are getting a lot of calls. I didn't even think about that. I suppose eventually it'll, because it is a way for people to advertise and market.
And you could have, like on a weekend, you could have multiple events going on
You can put multiple things on the board.
here, and then people would, might clutter it up. It's,
Well, that's the other thing. The more things you would be listing, the fewer things people are gonna be able to see.
yeah.
Because you only have a limited
Only
time
have so much
driving by
time.
or seeing it.
Unless you want to cause an accident.
Yeah.
And that it's
So-
clean, school-sponsored activity.
Okay.
There's
Now,
no
are you
debate.
saying,
I see.
and I did read this, but I just want to make sure, so everybody, so it's clear, especially because we're being recorded. So schools sponsored activities, like let's say a drama,
Yes.
like, now is
Homecoming
that
homecoming
high
activities
school?
go.
only,
high
correct?
Yes.
Okay,
High school.
so if drama was gonna be having something in middle school, we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna concern ourselves with high school
When the drama goes to
activities.
district, you'll say drama district competition here, I think we
Got
got
it,
here
okay.
this year. When the drama goes to state, you'll say state. When forensics goes to, sectionals, they'll say, when solo ensembles go to Eau Claire for state solo ensembles, that'll be on there. When the prom comes, when the graduation comes, when the
Even though they're not sports events.
Yes.
activities.
Yep.
That's what,
School
the donor and I
sponsored
did talk
high
about that.
Okay.
And he
And
was
Dr.
okay with
Cronin and
that.
I talked about that.
Okay.
It's all, the prom will be up there, parent-teacher conferences will be up there. And anything that we,
Open house was.
open house, we can, anything that we have that's sponsored by this high school building.
I think what's nice about that is, like you said, it's clean, it's consistent, and then you don't have to worry about people having their feelings hurt or being offended. Because you could be getting a lot of phone calls.
Right, and I saw it, I've lived it
Understood.
in previous life.
The question I had, I know it's nitpicky, but this is the perfect time to be getting it aired out. Middle school band and the middle school choir joins with our high
We'll
school.
just put up choir concert,
Great,
choir concert,
great,
band concert,
super,
school musical, there's just elementary kids and middle school kids.
perfect.
School musical,
All right,
we're
love it.
not gonna break it down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too,
Let's
because the
say band
sign
concert.
is parked outside the high school, you kind of assume that it's regarding events that are here at the
Yeah.
high school and their school fun,
How
school
about
sponsored.
baseball at High River tonight?
Yeah,
Is that
because
school
right now,
sponsored?
It's a high
we're
school
saying
event.
that Cumberland has got where the football is, so yeah.
Oh, it's in it.
So it'll say baseball versus Hayward, that's a home game. They'll say baseball at Hayward for the away game.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Okay.
It'll say softball versus Cumberland, even though we play softball in Brewer.
okay.
Oh, okay.
We can't put everything on there.
No,
People
Yeah.
gotta-
You can't
They
write
gotta have a
that.
little institutional knowledge that we play softball in
Free
Brewer, we play
admission.
baseball at High River.
Free admission.
Popcorn will be served.
Yeah.
Sessions available, Mike Graham will be broadcasting games.
Yeah.
None of that's going on there, because
Sorry, Mike.
you only got
That's
so many
that would be
seconds.
good for attendance.
It's only so many seconds, and we have a lot of activities that go on the course
I
of
was
the day.
gonna say, how does it, do you have it set so it's like,
It's-
like
it's-
every so many, or does it depend on how many things you have up there and then you speed it up or
It's-
slow it down?
It's
Or
timed. It's
so it's
timed.
just
It'll
everything?
just, it's like 4 seconds, I think she's got it set at.
Okay.
Does it shut off at a certain time in the evening?
No, it's 24/7.
The events, you program so the events will drop off. We had it at midnight when we've had some problems with it. Stacy was on the phone quite a bit with their tech support today. We're changing to 10 o'clock, so it'll drop off at night. So
Events.
we start on Monday, so on Monday morning she'll come in, and she puts the events for the week on there. So if we have a volleyball game on Tuesday, that'll drop off Tuesday night, then it'll just say what's on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then it'll drop off. So by Friday and Saturday, you only have a couple things on there, and then Monday morning she redoes it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, she sits at her desk on her computer, and that's what programs it and sends it out. There's some satellite that beams down. And it's
Pretty slick.
pretty slick. What's
Well, I think a key thing too is as we're being forced to be more efficient than we ever were, there's a lot of time consumed in some of the, if we took phone calls for different events that a lot of time, and it stated that here, I believe, the time spent by that.
Because once you say no, you're getting multiple calls, you're not just
Right.
getting one.
And then if you get something and it's not school sponsored and you don't have accurate date, you accidentally get it wrong, then you've got a plethora of other problems. And if it's school sponsored, usually it's on a calendar, you know. Whereas if you've got people calling in saying, hey, we want to throw this at the school, if you accidentally get a date or time wrong, then we have problems,
And like stated, if we do put things up there that aren't run by us, even though they're happening here, people are gonna logically assume they can call here with questions. So they may call about, let's say there's, a dinner, a spaghetti thing, run by an outside organization. They see that it's here, they're gonna call us for information. Well, that's time again,
Right.
that is being taken by somebody to have to respond or answer to that, so.
That's a good point.
Sounds like you got a consensus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, any,
We don't even need to vote, we just look for
I have-
consensus,
I
right?
think it's just a
It's not a
consensus,
vote
and then
because
we
we're
bring
not
it forward.
approving it, it was
to-
just
Just a
submitted
consensus to
for-
bring it to.
I do have mixed
FYI.
feelings because like the youth wrestling and the youth football, they're our people, those are the people that elected us. And, but, we have to have procedures, and I think this works best for.
I'm with you on that too, but like we say, if we find after a year or two that you know what, there are a lot of things that really could fit well and the donor wouldn't be upset, you can always adjust it later. They can always change the policy, but right now, this is fine.
I told somebody that even before we kind of had this conversation, we'll see how many requests we get in the course of a year.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can readjust or reevaluate.
Yep, this is a good starting
Once
point.
you put somebody on there, you're gonna get more requests too.
Right.
Yeah. And if you start allowing everything and then change it, it's gonna be a lot harder than if you do it the other
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I'm saying 100% right,
Adjust,
Yeah.
100% there.
So I think we're in consensus, on your proposal
Guidelines.
and.
Guidelines.
Guidelines,
Guidelines,
sorry,
rationale.
and we would bring that forward in the October, is it
You'll
set
just
for the?
do a report. You'll say there was a consensus of the committee, that the guidelines that they've already received.
Okay, we can move forward,
Move forward.
continue and move forward
Yeah,
as is.
that's it.
Now you're looking for a motion to
I am
adjourn.
looking for
Yeah.
a motion
Make that
to
motion.
adjourn. Are you
I'll
second?
second that one.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys.